Hi everybody, and welcome to the Ciao Bella Midnight Spell mini album tutorial series that I designed for Scrap and Create. So if you would like to follow along with this tutorial, just click on those links, purchase all those products from the Scrap and Create website, and follow along with the tutorial series. If you are looking for the full walkthrough video of this album, I will link it in the description box below so you can check this out. I definitely recommend that you look at the whole entire album so you can see what's in store for you if you decide to follow the tutorial. Stay tuned because next I'm going to walk through all of the products that I will be using to make this album here. That way, if you want to see the products before you purchase them, you kind of get an idea about what you'll be using. First, we're going to go through all of the supplies that are available on the Scrap and Create website, and these will all be linked in the description box below. So we have the Patterns Pad from Midnight Spell, and we have the 12 by 12 paper pad from Midnight Spell, but we are also going to be using the 8 by 8 paper pad. You'll need one of each of these. And we also have one of the Fussy cut pad, and I'm thinking that I might use some of these on the backs. They are plain, and I might use some of these as photo mats so that you will know where to place your photos. Once you purchase your papers from Scrap and Create, you will get some of these matching charms. So you have to purchase the set of papers, and these ones are silver. They are really pretty, so I'm going to be using a lot of silver in my embellishments. So we'll come back to this, but these are included with your pack with all the papers if you're purchasing from Scrap and Create. I also am going to be using some magnets, so I have a package of basic gray magnets. And I have two different types of Prima Flowers, also from Scrap and Create. For the base of the album, I have my chipboard sheets. So I am using heavyweight chipboard. I have 3 sheets, 8.5 by 11. And then for my pages, I'm going to be using white cardstock. So I use 65 pound from Michaels. You can use whatever brand you prefer. And you can also use whatever color you prefer. So if you don't want yours to be white, you can use any other color. I have not yet decided what color of beads I'm going to be putting on here. So I've got these little teeny tiny blue beads. I've got these are from Michaels. They're super old, but they have these different size white half pearls, so I might pick some of these out and use those. Or I've got some silver ones here that I might use. And then I'm also considering the possibility of using crystals instead. So I have not yet decided. I will decide on this once I actually start designing the album and placing the decorative papers on. So I want you to go ahead and decide what kind of beads or decorations you want to put on this and go ahead and grab those. I do have some brads here, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use these ones. If I use these crystals, then I'm probably going to use these brads that have a little crystal in the center. They are silver, so I might use those. But if I don't and I go with the pearls, then I will probably use these little tiny silver brads anywhere that I need to use those. So you can go ahead and pick up some brads. And then I have some ribbon here. It's very thin ribbon. I believe this is from Michaels. But it's just a very thin white ribbon that I'm going to use. I feel like it's very dainty, and the white will just make it look more elegant than another color. And I believe these will also work with that charm pack, so I'll be able to fit these through the loops in the charms. I've already shown you this really thin white ribbon that I'm going to use, but I've picked up 2 more types of ribbon. This is going to be for the spine section only, so if you are not going to do the spine like I do on my album, You will not need this ribbon. I haven't decided if I'm going to use this silver, if I'm going to use this transparent white. I'm leaning towards the transparent white, but I'm not quite sure yet, so I've picked up some ribbon. And I'm also going to be using some lace trim. These are really old trims, but you can find something similar at one of the fabric stores near you, or you can probably order some online. So I've just got some white trim here that I'll be using on my pages. And then I have my crocodile, and I'm going to be using some eyelets on the spine section, the corset binding. It is just decorative, so if you don't have one of these or you don't want to put this on your album, you absolutely do not have to, and it will not affect the functionality of your album. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the white ones or the silver ones yet, but I've got plenty, so I should be good to go once I get to that step. So like I said, these are things that you absolutely do not have to purchase for your album if you don't want to, but I will be using these to complete my album. I am going to add this to the supply list. These are chipboard flourishes that are available in my Etsy shop for purchase. I have several different sets, but this is the only set that I used. I used one of these. I used the insides of these two pieces, and I used one of these. So I didn't use the entire set of these. So if you don't want to purchase these, you absolutely do not have to. You can completely make the album without these, and everything will be just fine. If you do purchase these, if you've purchased anything in my shop before, these are unmasked. There is no version for the masked version because they are so delicate and intricate. Trying to take the masking off will probably rip the pieces. They also have these little tabs in it holding them in, so whenever you get this, it will be like this. Now, I recommend using a craft knife and taking the blade and just piercing right where those little hold down tabs are. That way those pieces will come out much easier. If you try to pop them out using your fingers, it's likely that you will damage those pieces. So your craft knife will come in really handy there. Then also I'm going to add a Gelid Roll pen to the supply list. I have a gold one here. You could also use silver. When I picked this up, actually I thought it was silver. I intended it to be silver, but it turned out to be gold. So I just went with it and it looks fine in the album. So I colored some of my chipboard pieces. You don't have to do that. So if you don't have one of these, you don't have to go and buy one. You can just leave your pieces plain. You can use alcohol markers, you can use inks. However you choose to decorate them is just fine. Now for the basic craft supplies you will need to make your mini album. First, you will need a scoring board and a scoring tool. If your scoring board does not come with a paper trimmer, or if you're like me, you just don't like the way the paper trimmer cuts on your board, you will need a 12 by 12 paper trimmer. You'll need to have a ruler, a regular pair of scissors, and your fussy cutting scissors, especially because we have those fussy cutting sheets. We will definitely be using those. I swear by my bone folder, so you definitely want a bone folder for your album making. I have my craft knife on my desk at all times just because that can come in handy very quickly. And then I have my pencil. For adhesive, I will be using my tacky glue. And if I do use something like acetate or vellum, I will be using my double-sided tape. So I have 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch tape here, just in case I decide that I need those. So those are all the products that you need to make my Ciao Bella Midnight Spell mini album. In the tutorial series that follows, the videos will be broken down into sections. So if you've never followed one of my tutorials before, first we're going to start by building the cover and the base pages in one video. Then we'll go through and build page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4 in 4 separate videos. Then we'll start decorating with the cover and then a video, and then page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4 in separate videos. Then I'll come back in the final video and go through all the finishing touches that we'll add in and adding the pages into the album. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial series.